All right. Get this audio tested, man. Channel. Live. All right, let's see if this audio working right. All right, let's see if this audio works. Charger City, what it do? All right, let's see if this audio works. Charger City, what it do? All right, let's see if this audio. All right, audio is working properly. Let me get this over here in case I need it. And then we'll go from there, man. I'm not right in the chat over here. No, I don't think so. Wobbler, what it do, bro? I'm testing some shit real quick before we get to this paperwork, man. Nah, it didn't work, man. I gotta figure out how to get that working. Yeah, because it ain't working, man. I don't know why. Oh, good. But let's go, man. You guys don't know, man. If I'm not mistaken, Big U, his bail hearing, his bond hearing is today, and the DA has put out the paperwork into the reason why they don't want to give him bail, man. And we're gonna go over that paperwork. Let me make sure this shit is working right, bro. All right, yeah, we're gonna go over that paperwork today, so we all can read it, man, so we can see all the reasons why they want to deny him bail, should I say. Okay. Shout out Wobbler though, man. Make sure you guys click on that man's channel and subscribe. Make sure you guys like, share, and subscribe. If you have not liked the live, please like the live, man. I would highly appreciate it. About to go over this paperwork, man. I was trying to do some, I don't know why it's not letting me write in the chat on this end. I wanted to test something, but it doesn't seem to be working. Hold on. No, it's not working. I'm gonna have to figure that out. New widget. You see something? Nah. I'm gonna have to figure that shit out later at another time. But let's go, man. We'll get straight to the content. Remember, Big U court date is today, if I'm not mistaken, on his bail hearing, man. And this is the paperwork into why the DA doesn't want to give him bail. Okay, so this is what's going to be presented to the judge. These are the reasons why the DA is saying, hey, we don't want to give this guy bond, blase, man. So we're going to go over this paperwork real quick and give y'all a little insight on what's going on, man. So you look here, it says attorney for plaintiff, United States of America, United States District Court for the Central District of California, United States of America plaintiff versus Eugene Henley Jr., aka Big U, aka Unc, aka Draws, aka Hannibal, aka Hannibal Muhammad, aka Anybody Killer, aka Dave Austin, defendant. Okay, the man got 17 names, man. The man was like, look, y'all not gonna find me. I got all these aliases. Case numbers here, it says brief and supportive detention for defendant Eugene Henley Jr. Hearing date April 22nd. So yeah, 2025 at 9:30 a.m. So his hearing is going on right now as we speak. They probably already done if it's West Coast time, because I think it's what 10:45 out there. And the judge is Joel Richland. It says plaintiff of the United States of America by through its consul of record, the United States Attorney for the Central District of California and Assistant United States Attorney Kevin J. Butler and Jenna A. McCabe hereby files its brief in support of detention for defendant Eugene Henley Jr., also known as AKA Big U, AKA Unc, AKA Draws, AKA Hannibal, AKA Hannibal Muhammad, AKA Anybody Killer, AKA Dave Austin. God damn, this man with these AKAs. It says this brief is based upon the attached memorandum of points and authorities. The files and records in this case and such further evidence and argument as the court may permit. Date April 21st, 2025. So they just put this together yesterday, pretty much, okay? Now, if you scroll down, I think this is Attorneys Penn of the United States, right? Description, memorandum of points and authorities. 1, introduction, state of facts. It says, A, defendant is a dedicated rolling 60 and leader of his own violent racketeering enterprise. So that right there hurts him alone, okay? Whenever, you know, a judge has that in hand and says, well, okay, this guy's a gang leader. He's the leader of a racketeering enterprise. That's like the DA is trying to say, look, don't let this guy go nowhere. Just right there, just off of that, okay? B, recent example of defendant's acts or threats of violence. Number 1, murder of RW. Anybody in the chat know who RW is? They're trying to say he is involved in the murder of, what was it, the football player? What's his name? Rayshawn Williams, okay? And that hurts because this man has not even went to court for that or been found guilty of anything like that. So when they put that in there, they're basically saying, hey, this guy is part of this. This is something you need to look into, okay? Number 2, robbery and extortion, okay? Of course, part of the racketeering case, part of the RICO, all of that involves robbery and extortion. Number 3, power to direct violence. So pretty much he's the shot caller. Everything goes through him. He has the power to say, hey, do this, do that, and it happens. You feel me? Boom. C, despite a prior 23-year sentence for armed robbery, defendant stayed armed. So they're basically saying this guy did 23 years in prison, okay? You know, as a felon, you can't possess a firearm. And they're saying, hey, he basically said, F the law, decided to carry a firearm still, knowing that he did 23 years in prison, so he knows the laws pretty much. He still did it. Boom. All right. Number 3, defendant is not only a physical danger, but a financial danger too. Okay. So pretty much that's saying he has the power to still extort people. You know, he's just not a physical threat. He's a financial threat. He still has the power to have people pretty much extort motherfuckers. Okay. Boom. E, mind you, I might not know some of this stuff. All right. So when I get stuck on something, don't think that I'm supposed to just know. Yo, is the chat working? I want to make sure my chat is working. Okay. It says defendant is fluent in obstruction. So pretty much he obstructs all the time. Obstruction of justice is usually a lie, if I'm not mistaken. Hold on, I have a legit question. Yo, Zero, what it do? You can ask any question in the chat, man. Anything y'all want to chat, y'all can definitely ask. What is it? Ike turn her hands. What it do? All right, boom. It says legal standard. Defendant should be remain detained because he is a risk of non-appearance and a danger to the community. So he has a history pretty much of not showing up to court. Okay. Non-appearance, basically saying he has a history of not showing up to court, meaning if they let him on bail and he has a court appearance, he might not even show up to fucking court. Okay. So B, oh no, A, nature and circumstances of the offense. Basically saying, hey, what he's being charged with is serious. The nature of it is serious. This guy does not belong out on bail. Okay. The weight of evidence, meaning they have so much shit on him. There's no way he can be, don't let him out on bail. There's just too much evidence showing that he is this type of individual. He don't need to be on the streets because the evidence shows that this is a bad dude. Pretty much is what that's saying. History and characteristics of defendant. Pretty much don't know what that means. Okay. Maybe they're trying to say, hey, his history shows that he's this type of person. Okay. D, nature and seriousness of the danger posed by defendant's release. Pretty much because of the case and what's going on and the people involved, they can lead to other shit. Pretty much. Okay. Conclusion. Description, cases, United States versus, I don't know who this is. And who are these names? I haven't even read this paperwork yet. So you guys are seeing it with me. Okay. This is the first time I've seen this table of authority. So I don't know who this is. United States versus, let's see if we recognize any of these names in here. Boom, boom, boom. I don't see E.S. Hernandez, English Erman, Fergie, Gonzalez, Claudia Hernandez. Yeah, I don't recognize any of those names. It says, why do you think Wack won't be in no jumper indictment when he had possession of the stolen watch? You take a wild guess why. I know for sure he won't be. And it's not an indictment, it's a state case. Just to let you know. I'm gonna clear that up right now. It's a state case. Wack, y'all figure that out. You know, how are you involved in something and you don't pay no consequences for it? Y'all take a wild guess. What have they been trying to, you know, tell the world about Wack 100? Y'all take a wild guess. I shouldn't have to answer that question. Everybody know why. But one thing I do know is he's not getting arrested for it. Facts. I've already seen certain things, and there's certain things that I can't put out there yet. But trust me, when it all comes out, you'll see what I'm talking about. It says the names are examples from other people cases, sir. Okay, boom. I didn't know that. Thank you for letting me know. We can't wait until you read Luce charges. I mean, everybody pretty much know Luce's charges already. Okay. All right, boom. So yeah, I didn't know any of that. Thank you for clearing that up. I don't know who any of these people are. Okay. All right, boom. It says memorandum of points and authorities introductions. It says for decades, the defendant Eugene Henley Jr., also known as Big U, the defendant, has put on a public facade misguarding as such reformed gang member and legitimate businessman whose only ambition was to better his community. Okay. So they're basically saying like, hey, he has pretended to be this person. Okay. This is what he was trying to put on. And they're basically going to say, well, that's not him. I can pretty much tell you what this is leading to. Okay. It says, but the defendant, told you, wasn't helping Crenshaw. He was helping himself. In the shadows, the defendant was secretly operating as a kingpin of criminal enterprise that has ruled Los Angeles through violence, fear, and intimidation. It says now he seeks pretrial release under the guise of his reformed persona, even though his criminal activities have included murder, extortion, robbery, wire fraud, bank fraud, and human trafficking. Okay, they're trying to hit this dude with everything they know to make sure that this judge says bail denied, because that right there alone, a judge will see that and be like, oh, hell no, I'm not letting this dude on the street. You feel me? So the court should see through the defendants first and keep coming in custody for the safety of the community. To avoid custody, the defendant will no doubt continue his double dealing as he did to celebrities and donors that he duped into believing they were helping young, unprivileged athletes chase their dreams, when in reality, they were unwittingly lining defendants' pockets as he embezzled donations after donation. That's crazy. That's crazy because there's something on my motherfucking Instagram that was exposed, something he did around Christmas time, and it kind of lines up to what that just said. Okay, yo, what it do, Slim, man? Shout out my nigga Slim in the chat. Yeah, we'll talk about that another time with the Christmas stuff. All right. So it says, even in his short time in custody, he is up to his old tricks. Wait a minute. So are they saying that they found him doing something while he was in custody that they can pretty much compare to his old ways? That's fucking crazy. Remember, I have not read this paperwork yet. I'm hearing this paperwork for the first time with you guys. Okay. We're reading this together. That's why I said, if I don't know something about it, if the chat knows, I'll ask. Too much, he knew something that I didn't know already. It says, it's over America, not hoods right now, the reason he was denied bail. It says the reason why he was denied bail. It says, shout out my nigga Deezy, bro. Who the hell is Deezy? You talking about the liar? Is that what you talking about, bro? But anyway, somebody sit down with him over there and ask him to tell y'all the truth. All right, where was we at, man? It says right here, it says, once again, trying to use some of those same celebrities for his personal gain. He has even suggested that he can manipulate. No, we're not right there. We skipped the part. Let's start from right here. Pockets as he embezzled donation after donation. Even in his short time in custody, he is up to his old tricks. Once again, trying to use some of those same celebrities for his own personal gain. He has even suggested that he can manipulate the president of the United States into intervening in the case and dropping the charges. That's crazy. Okay. So I heard he pretty much said that he can get Donald Trump to pardon him. Okay. It says, like your content all the way from South Africa. You should do a reaction on prison gangs in South Africa. You know what, Freeman, that would be kind of hard for me to do. I have no knowledge at all of any African gangs. You feel me? So, yeah, we're gonna go ahead and time you out, my boy. Like, I understand you from SBGB community, but come on, man, that's not what we do over here, bro. So I'm just gonna have to time you out. We'll time you out for 30 minutes. If you come back and do it again, I'll just time you out again. It's not that serious, bro. We understand y'all, what y'all push over there, the narrative y'all push, but like I said, I don't think y'all boss over there in that channel even cares about Marciano. I mean, he lied to y'all. So, all right, let's continue reading. It says the president of the United States intervening in the case, dropping the charges, even as he simultaneously refers to the president as the orange man while in custody. This court should not be fooled by the good deeds defendant promises to accomplish if only he could close the detention doors behind him. The truth is that he will undoubtedly cause exponential harm to the case, to the community, and others if he were released. That's crazy right there. Okay. They saying that this man has referred to Donald Trump as the orange man while he has been behind bars, man, and he's asking the president to pardon him. That's crazy. All right. So boom. Next, the defendant shall remain detained for the safety of the community. The victims and witnesses in the case, in defendant's own words, if I would have had a problem with any man, the issue would have been resolved and he wouldn't be here or wouldn't be here. That's fucking crazy. Where the fuck did he say this shit at, bro? Like, that's fucking crazy. It says salute to the channel and chat. Love the content. Let's go. Yo, hey, appreciate everybody. Miss Ray for tuning in. Like I said, y'all know I'm new to this YouTube shit, man. I've had a history of content creating, but the YouTube is new to me. I'm getting the feel of it. I'm trying to figure out where to find my way with it. Pretty much I started doing this just to defend Luce's name, man. And you know, I'm involved with a lot of this stuff that has, you know, y'all have seen over here. I've been involved with it. I know a lot about it. Like I said, how you think I'm able to get this type of stuff sent to me to show you guys what's going on? Okay, it says they don't even know the games from El Salvador. El Salvador don't even respect the left locked, and they really trying to replace them. Yeah, I mean, I don't know nothing about that. I know El Salvador has one of the most notorious prisons. I mean, I watched a documentary on El Salvador prisons, and yeah, I think you would rather be in prison in America than to be over there, man. Thank you, Geraldo. I appreciate it. All right, so let's go. It says, if I would have had a problem with any man, the issue would have been resolved and he wouldn't be here, or I wouldn't be here, and for the hope of some semblance of justice for the families of his victims. Indeed, with seemingly just hours of notice of his impending arrest, defendant has already destroyed valuable evidence, attempting to paint a false narrative of his criminality in the public and publicly condemned his enemies by name. He cannot be allowed to continue on his obstruction path. So what they said right there, I don't know when you guys, I don't know if you guys are paying attention. Before Big U turned himself in, he made a bunch of videos that he posted on the internet, basically throwing names out there saying 600, Wack 100 should be arrested too, because blase. He did a lot of shit and got the name dropping people before it turned itself in. I guess he felt like, hey, if I turn myself in, none of this would be looked at. You know, it wouldn't be held against me. I'm not a flight risk. I'm not this person. I'm not that person. Look, I turned myself in. But where he fucked up is he kind of, when he threw those names out there, it's in a way intimidating. It's intimidating people. You see what I'm saying? So let's keep going, right? What was that? Including in the public condemn the enemies by name. He cannot be allowed to continue on his obstructive path. Any supporters defending me offer as sureties, whatever the fuck it's called, will not protect the community. They did not save Rayshawn Williams, whom defendant murdered. So he hasn't even been convicted of anything that has to do with Rayshawn Williams, and they have it in this paperwork that he did murder Rayshawn Williams. So if they're referring to that situation as he did it, that means that they have proof, they have evidence that he actually did this. Like, that right there is crazy as fuck. They're already saying you did this. You see what I'm saying? They're making sure that this man will never get a bond. They're making sure that this man will never ever step foot out of federal prison until he does his time, pretty much, man. Make sure you guys like, share, and subscribe to the channel if you are new. Like I said, I'm learning that the likes are important, man. So make sure you guys like it at least. All right. They did not save the defendants. Wait, Rayshawn Williams, who defendant murdered and abandoned in the desert. They did not save the defendant's countless extortion and embezzlement victims who defendant terrorized or tricked for years. They did not stop the defendant from leaving Los Angeles in the midnight hours before his arrest or hurling thinly veiled threats into the lead up to his surrender. Okay. This court should have no trouble finding defendant represents a danger and a risk of non-appearance, non-compliance with the court orders. That cannot be adequately mitigated through release conditions. With the utmost respect to pretrial services, pretrial supervision is not enough for the sake of the community. Defendant should remain in custody. God damn, that shit is crazy. It says if they not charging him in the murder on the Fed side, why are they monitoring it on the paperwork? Because you got to understand that the murder was not part of the California RICO. The murder so-called happened in Nevada. So that's going to be pretty much a Clark County thing. If you guys don't know, the county in Las Vegas is Clark County. So that's a state thing. That's going to be a state murder. It's not going to be anything with the feds. Remember, this is all a California RICO that happened outside of California. I can pretty much guarantee if that incident occurred in California, it probably would have been part of the RICO. It says, bro, bang my line when you get off the live. Got you, Slim. It says bet kept Sally get recon. But yeah, so that's pretty much why it's not there. You got to understand how the DA works. If you got some serious shit that happened in motherfucking New York, they're going to bring that to the judge's attention, saying, hey, he even travels to other places and do this type of shit. Okay. So this is the reason why you're seeing it in this. They're going to use anything they can to make sure that this guy does not hit the streets. Okay. So that's why you're seeing something from a different state in this paperwork. All right. Boom. What page are we on? Damn, we only on page 3. Good Lord. I think it's like 20 something pages. All right. State of facts. Defendant is dedicated Rolling 60 and leader of his own violent racketeering enterprise. It says defendant is an avowed and famed member of the Rolling 60s neighborhood Crip street gang. As early as 1992, the Los Angeles Times described defendant as the leader of that gang. Damn, the fucking Los Angeles Times had him listed. I don't think that's a good idea, bro. I don't think I ever want to be listed as, hey, he's the kingpin of this. Fuck that. You already know, man. Like you can get picked up in a RICO and some gang shit. Like literally, like I've seen it happen all the time. They do a gang sweep, bro. It's you out of there. You don't never want to admit that you really bang like that. I'm not a gang member. Let you guys know, I'm no longer a gang member. I'm all on some like new stuff. All right. I'm not no blood. I'm not involved in no games. Okay. I hope nobody in the chat gang bang. Okay. But it says a member of the Rolling 60s neighborhood Crip street gang. As early as 1992, the Los Angeles Times described defendant as the leader of that gang. And little has changed as defendant's age. So they're basically saying, there's a saying, with age comes knowledge and wisdom. And as you get older, you tend to become more smarter. You tend to settle down. Everything you were doing when you were fucking 19, 20, 21 shouldn't be the same when you're about 50. And they're saying, nah, this motherfucker was a demon from the time he became a Rolling 60 Crip into the time of now. Okay. So that boy Big U is out there putting in work. Okay. So here we go. As the leader of the gang, and little has changed as the defendant's aged. As it states in many interviews, when asked about any gang tattoos, it ain't on you, it's in you. Indeed, defendant's gang ties run deep in his blood. Defendant has loudly recounted the terror he instilled for years. In various interviews, defendant recounts selling narcotics, taking a percentage of all illegal activity in the neighborhood, which is pretty much extortion in a way, leading the body snatchers kidnapping crew, and eventually going to prison where he immediately claims to have paid off the guards, taking a percentage of drug sales. Boy, this shit is crazy. I'm trying to figure out where they getting this info from. I mean, a lot of this to me, I feel like nobody can tell but himself. Like, where are they getting all this info from to put up in this paperwork? Now, after an investigation spanning more than 4 years, damn. So they've been putting this RICO together since 2021, pretty much. Okay. They have been pursuing him since 2021, which, if you think about it, my nigga Cannon said the last time he actually dealt with Big U was 2021, man. So I can see why, the homie was picked up and involved in this from the no jumper shit. Like I said, I do believe the homie can beat it because there's no proof that the homie was actually there. He just said he was there. It says, when you say put it in work, can you explain to the kids slang for destroying your own community? Man, they know what that is, Lamar. Ain't no kids in here, man. You know what put it in work, man, is he was doing what he do. That's how we gonna put it. All right. Now, where are we at? Right here. Body snatchers kidnapping crew and eventually going to prison where he immediately claims to have paid off guards and taken a percentage of drug sales. It says, now after an investigation spanning more than 4 years, the defendant was charged with running a Big U enterprise from at least 2010 until his arrest, which often used the Rolling 60s as muscle in its criminal activities. Specifically, defendant, often assisted by Rolling 60s or other members and associates of the Big U enterprise, used intimidation, fear, violence, threats, and violence, assault, extortions, and murder in the streets for power and profit through the media and his nonprofit developing options. Defendant portrayed himself as the neighborhood savior and drawing in donations and government resources intended to benefit at-risk youth, but which he oftentimes used to fund his lifestyle instead. Despite his life of crime, defendant never wanted to return to jail. So he went to great lengths to avoid law enforcement detection, tamper with witnesses, and otherwise obstruct justice. So they're basically saying that kind of reminds me of somebody, just not a gang member. It says, what puzzles me is we all talk about Big U, Free Luce, Brick, whatever happened to the Mexican guy. Did he get snatched? What? Slim, who you talking about? The Mexican guy? What Mexican guy? This kind of reminds me of somebody. Did y'all read? Should we read this again? Using his resources for personal gain, using people's, tragic situations for personal gain. Kind of reminds me of a YouTube streamer in a way. Yeah, I mean, it is what it is, man. People do this shit all the time. They say, of course I know the youth may not understand. I mean, that's what school is for. That's what parents are for. That's what adults that care about the youth and the kids are for, man. I don't need to show my kid a YouTube channel for them to understand this type of stuff. That's why you sit down with your children, man. You talk to your children. Grooming children at an early age is very important. And this might go over y'all head, but you got to understand, man, parents dictate their children's future. So if you're not grooming them properly, they're going to grow up to do exactly what they was groomed to do. If you're doing violent shit around them, they're going to grow up and do violent shit because they're going to think it's okay. If you're showing them the right path, 9 times out of 10, they're going to walk that right path. Okay. So it's all up to you as a parent to groom your children so they can understand this and don't have to see it from a fucking YouTuber. You talking about the 5'3" YouTube Pyru? Nah, Zero. I'm talking about the liar YouTuber. Okay. Using certain situations to benefit from it. Okay. Using certain things to benefit from it. Okay. So boom, let's finish reading. Recent example of defendant's acts and threats of violence. Murder of Rayshawn Williams. So if you guys don't know who RW is, they didn't put the name, but that's pretty much Rayshawn Williams, right? Do we have how do you spell his name? Anybody know how to spell his name? Let's see if we can find. Let me see if I spell it wrong. Ray. It's R-A-E or R-E. Let's see if it pops up. Rayshawn Williams. I don't know if I'm spelling his name right, but we'll see if there's a photo of. Yeah, there he is right there. This is the football player right here that they're saying that Big U murdered. Okay, this is Rayshawn Williams right here. Okay. It says communication rules the nation. Thinks you explained it. Exactly. You want to communicate with your children, man. Communicate. If you love somebody, I don't give a fuck how old they are. If you have a voice, if you can kick some knowledge to them, always do it. Especially if you see them headed down the wrong path. If you see them doing stuff at an early age they're not supposed to be doing, you want to stop that shit immediately. Correct them, whether you're doing it the hard way or the good way. Just make sure you lead your young ones in the right direction. But this is the football player that they claiming that Big U murdered. Okay, Rayshawn Williams, Los Angeles, California, school, Crenshaw High School. Okay, so this is the one they're talking about. Okay, so recent example of defendant's acts, threats of violence, murder of Rayshawn Williams. In 2021, defendant drove to Las Vegas. Like I explained, this is a out-of-state case, so it won't be in the California RICO, but they can use his actions. Pretty much a bail hearing, they want to present to the judge his actions and what he's been known for and what he's so-called doing is the reason why he shouldn't get bail. So, of course, this right here alone will get him no bond. They didn't even have to, they could have put this paperwork together and just put that in there right there and he won't get bond. I can guarantee he's not getting bond. Probably already announced that he has not got bond. So, all right, let's finish. In 2021, the defendant drove to Las Vegas with another Enterprise member to confront Rayshawn Williams. A rapper signed to the defendant's record label who was also a close friend of defendant's son and someone defendant has known for years. Apparently upset about Rayshawn Williams' lack of studio production. What it do, my guy? Shelby not here. She went to go pick up my mom from her job. So I forgot to let you know I was going live. I did not get a notification you was live. That's my fault. I should have texted you, bro. Can you look up what happened? Court was almost 2 hours ago. I'll definitely try to look up. Matter of fact, when we get done with this paperwork, I'll call Sharice and see if she has heard if she has any info on what happened and what they say about his bail hearing. Because she gets all the stuff through their attorney because, you know, her husband is on the same case. So she has access to it. It says, is it true you can go back to your hood in Las Vegas? Bro, my big homie was just in here saying that. Listen, let me explain something to you, Block Boy. Everything that Wack 100 went on live and said, it came from the IBM mole, who's considered like my brother. I've been knowing Gizzy for over 20 years. Wack 100 has been trying to tear me down for the last 2 months because he know I got power on the internet, especially on Instagram. Now that I'm over here, he's trying it again. It didn't work with Luce. He tried to get me tore down with Luce. He seen that it wasn't working with Luce. So he went after somebody else and somebody else that was weak for it. He lied to my so-called brother from my neighborhood and said, Hoodlum said this about you. So my brother turns around and says, well, I'm going to say this about him. So everything you heard from Wack was really Gizzy's lifestyle. The one thing I can step on and stamp, and I'm not going to sit here and throw nobody under the bus because I'm not that type of nigga, is me and Gizzy can't go to our hood. So I don't know if that was something that Wack 100 threw in extra, but nobody has ever told me that. Nobody has ever told Gizzy that. We're more than welcome in our hood. Like I said, my big homie, if you was here the day before yesterday, came into the chat and let it be known. Nigga, Hoodlum is more than welcome in the hood. Nigga, y'all got me fucked up. But like I said, my bros was gullible to Wack because Wack was trying to find a way to tear me down. He believed all the bullshit. Like I said, everything you heard was actually Gizzy. Hanging around Clubhouse, meeting Luce in Clubhouse, all that shit was him. I didn't meet Luce in no fucking Clubhouse. No, none of that bullshit. Like, Wack trying to tear me down. It ain't gonna work, Wack. Wack better answer to why he not going down for that no jumper shit. That's what he need to answer to. Why are you and nobody from the 100 side going to be arrested? Huh? Yes, firsthand knowledge. Can't speak too much. I even got mug shots. Let's go. It says, is it true you can, we already said that. It says, always role model on behavior that you expect of others, right? It says, bro, she not really legally married to Luce Cannon. He's still married to Gigi. I mean, you know, you can get married and be married twice, right? You might want to consider it a different way, but you can't get married twice, all right? So we don't care about Gigi. Gigi, you got to understand this, right? If a person hates you so much, why are you trying to prove a point? This is still my husband. If you hate Luce and you don't fuck with Luce the way you say you know, hate him, I would be trying to detach myself from him. No, I am not his fucking wife. I don't want nothing to do with him. I'm no girlfriend or nothing. I just have a child with him. If anything, You know what I'm saying? If anything, that's what I would be doing right now. But no, I'm the real wife. I'm this. It's called bitterness. All right. She's bitter. I'm sorry, but that's how I see it. Bitter women do that type of shit. Bitter women will do things and say things about you that are ultimately not true. That's what bitterness does. They want to destroy your name all the way through and through. They will put the worst shit on your name. I told my wife not too long ago, I feel like bitterness should be labeled as a illness. And the reason why I say that is because there are a lot of people right now that are no longer in this world over bitterness. So bitterness is serious. When you're dealing with somebody that's bitter, you got to be real careful. But like I said, if she hates him so much, why is she still attaching herself to him as the wife? It doesn't make sense. All right. And I'm just saying, right now, I see a clout move. Before Luce got locked up, she was not parading around doing what she's doing. So we're not going to do that. All right. And then it says, no, you can get married twice as he's still legally married. I don't know. I've heard of people doing it. Okay. You're really not smart at all. Okay, super. I've actually seen people get married twice, but okay. Yeah. It says, as about Wack, he talked about people saying they can't go back to their hood, but when mentioning, yeah, the one person we do know can't go back to his hood is Wack. You know what I mean? But like I said, Wack sat over there. Oh, I got the details. My so-called brother had just told him that about me 12 hours before that live. And he said, I got all the details and been having them. Bullshit. My brother sat right on the phone with me, so-called brother, and cried. I'm sorry. I really believed that about what he said that you told him about me. So I lied on you. Like, come on, man. Don't nobody give a fuck about what Wack talking about. I bet you when I go out there, I'm going to go out there to my hood, make a video, tell Blood to pull up because he live in Vegas and he going to sit his scary ass in the house. We don't want to hear that. I don't believe she's bitter. I believe she proven Luce is a liar. Duh, Luce is a liar. Twos, who don't know that? Luce is a liar. Luce lies about everything. Luce is an entertainer. Luce will lie about everything he does to put it on YouTube because it sells. Duh. Luce is a liar, but one thing I do know is why are you still I'm the real wife, posting fucking pictures of pregnant bellies and all. Like, come on, man, that's bitterness. This is what about Wack being listed as the witness in Big U paperwork? I don't know. Somebody had to take that up with Wack. Wack is just, he's real iffy right now. It's too much police shit coming from him. Then why are you defending him? Defending who? Luce my homeboy. I'm going to defend Luce tooth and nail, bro. I don't give a fuck what he did, period. If you got a child right now and your child does something that he's not supposed to do and he goes to prison, you're not going to turn your back on your child. You're not going to turn your back on your real friends. You're not going to turn your back on your family. That's just how it works. People make mistakes in life. But at the same time, as a friend, that's why I talk to him about his mistakes, support him to make sure he don't make more mistakes, and you go from there. Like, come on, man. Anybody that believe a stranger before checking in with you. Exactly. So like I said, Zero, this dude was like my brother, bro. Okay. I've been knowing Gizzy for over 20 years. Gizzy was one of the first, me and my sister were the first people Gizzy ever met when he moved to Vegas. I moved to Vegas like 2 years before Gizzy. Okay. So he's like my brother. So for that to happen and him to admit it to me, like, that shit hurt. You know what I mean? And I gave him an opportunity to clear it up. But like I said, Gizzy was compromised because what he don't understand about Wack records every phone call. So as Gizzy was on the phone being told, you know, Hoodlum said this about you, Gizzy bit the bait, lied on me, but not only that, he talked about other IBM members. So when I gave Gizzy the opportunity to go on a live in a video with me to clear it up, to let him know that I fed you lies, I put you in a trick bag because you make me fucking believe you, he didn't want to do the video. And the reason why is because if he does that video, Wack 100 has every phone call that Gizzy sat on with him as he's talking about everybody from IBM. He was compromised. That's how that worked. How's it a mistake in Marciano? Bro, listen, come on, too much. This is sickening. We understand what you're trying to say, but we're not talking about that right now. It is what it is, bro. All right, back to the paperwork. It says, defending them for years, apparently upset with Rayshawn Williams' lack of studio production and purported diss song. So supposedly Rayshawn Williams made a diss song at Big U, okay? Now, it says defendant left the studio with Rayshawn Williams in the middle of the night for Rayshawn Williams' Airbnb. Rayshawn Williams left his Airbnb with his belongings was the last time he was seen alive. As he was found next the next morning with gunshot wounds to the head. Defendant returned to the studio hours after he had left, claiming that he had gone to the gym despite the 2 a.m. hour. Defendant's cell phone activity, the obstructionist conduct of other members of the enterprise, and defendant's own words and reactions intercepted on the wire proved prove his guilt of the heinous crime. So that means they actually caught this motherfucker on a wiretap talking about the murder. This shit is crazy. Thank you, Slim, for cleaning that up. You got to understand, people were going to make mistakes in life. That's why they have prisons and jails. It's because they know people are going to do stuff they're not supposed to do. I'm not defending the actions. I'm defending my homie because that's my homie. Whatever happened. I'm going to support him through his journey, through his process. Is he going to beat it? I hope he does. That's how I look at it. That's what your friend's supposed to do. He's beating everything. That's the mentality I want to have because that's my friend. It says Maz gave Travis on his network. Dash unlocked Travis. Knew Jay Reed hooked the Luce up with Travis. Wack set the whole play up. Yeah, I already know. Wack is the one that orchestrated everything. So, you know, I don't want y'all to sit here and paint the narrative that it was Luce's idea. None of that. Everything, like I said, Luce was the mule. We all seen the video. Luce was the mule in that situation. Okay, so let's make that clear. All right, boom. Back to the paperwork. Found him with gunshot wounds to the head. Oh no, we're back here. Defendant's reaction intercepted on the wire. A wire proved his guilt of his heinous crime. He got caught on the fucking wiretap talking about it. How dumb can you be? Rayshawn Williams' murder not only demands defendants continue detention, but cautions against what may happen to other witnesses. Cooperators and victims were defended to be released on bond. So basically saying, if we get this dude bail, he might try to take somebody out that can possibly tell on him. Okay. That's pretty much what this is saying right here. Okay. All right. So boom. 2, robbery and extortion. Throughout the period of interception and before defendant was captured, an audio and video recording extorting victim 1, both through a co-defendant, Sylvester Robinson, and personally in doing so. If I'm not mistaken, this dude right here, Robinson, Sylvester, he's the one that's doing all the telling. He's the one that told everything. If I'm not mistaken, when I read the first original paperwork, we'll see. I think that's the one I was doing all the rat. Okay. And personally, in doing so, defendant and Robinson frequently threatened violence against victim 1 if he failed to pay their fees, which is Dale, the one on the phone call that SBGB put out. The phone call that was not out versus the one part of it that was out. That's Dale. Okay. Victim 1 is Dale. Right. It says, man, Jay Reed, fuck Jay Reed, period. He a PDF, but prayers definitely to the other gentleman. Facts. We don't give a fuck about Jay Reed. All right. It is what it is. You see, it's crazy because if y'all got an agenda over there in SBGB's community, right? Shouldn't y'all still be defending Jay Reed? Y'all was quick to turn on Jay Reed when y'all found out about his past. But remember, it happened to him too. So why all of a sudden y'all turn the lights off on Jay Reed just like all the hood niggas did? No. Y'all want justice for the victims. Y'all better pay attention to what that motherfucker SBGB got going on over there. Okay? He just rolling with the flow. Oh shit. They all cut off Jay Reed. Time for me to cut off Jay Reed. Like, come on, man. If the same type of shit would have came out about Marciano, he would have cut the clock off on his ass too. Like I said, that man over there pushing the narrative and it's selling. And he got everybody over there helping him sell this shit. Well, it's fine. I understand what he's trying to do, but like I said, I personally think he does not care about Marciano. You got to understand, he's been screaming this stuff for 3 or 4 months. Shit, at that point, shit, you'd have made so much money off of it. Why haven't you flew out, try to interview this dude, put him on camera, talk to him, help him? Nothing. There has just been nothing but the same shit he does on his channel every day. Okay, it's a lot, bro. You quick to mute people when they say something you don't like, just whacking it. I have not muted nobody. I've timed somebody out who was spamming my chat. So if somebody muted you, it's the mod. It ain't me, bro. The first time I ever clicked and timed somebody out was somebody came in here when I first started to stream and spam the same shit over and over. Of course, I'm going to time you out. But other than that, if you're getting timed out now, I have not timed you out. The mod probably did. That's cap. Jerry Reed was on SBGB a few days ago. Wait, but go back to his VODs. Like, he literally stopped parading for Jay Reed and strictly focused on Marciano after Jay Reed was labeled as he was labeled, bro. Let's not be, let's be realistic here. When is the last time you really heard him, push for Jay Reed? Like, come on, now that shit stopped when the PDF shit came out. Bell never, thug all over again. It says the broke jaw statement is referring to Wack. You about to read it. Watch the refer. Oh, we about to get to that, Mike. Let's keep it going. All right, so Shelby is back, Hodge. So if she want to mod, she'll help you mod. All right, so boom, where we at? Because I want to get to that. All right, it says, throughout the period of interception before defendant was captured on audio video recording extorting victim one, both through a co-defendant, Sylvester Robinson, and personally. In doing so, the defendant and Robinson frequently threatened violence against victim one if he failed to pay their fees. Dale. It says those threats were not empty. When victim one started to ignore defendant's calls demanding extortion payments, defendant sent multiple armed robbers to victim one's dispensary to rob him and then demanded $10,000 from victim one to prevent future robbery. So if you guys don't know, this is the incident that Cannon talked about on No Jumper that pretty much got him involved in this. He put himself there. Nobody in the paperwork put Luce there. Luce has not been caught on the wiretaps. Like I said, not even the motherfucker that's snitching on everybody put Luce there. Nobody put Luce there but Luce himself, which is very beatable because, like I said, I could say whatever I want. You got to prove I was there, okay? It says because Marciano is the real victim, he's actually hurt. Well, so you mean to tell me so you mean to tell me because Jay Reed healed quicker, he's not a victim? Come on, man. I know I didn't read what I just read. It ain't. So it's Jay Reed's fault that Jay Reed got better sooner than Marciano. So Jay Reed is not a victim. Like, come on, man. That shit sound crazy right now. Like, really? Come on now. Exactly, Faye. Ain't nothing wrong with Jay Reed. Come on, bruh. It don't matter. He healed. The man healed up from his injuries. So he ain't a victim. So what you saying, my nigga, we should just accept PDS back into the community? No, I'm not saying that. Absolutely not. What I'm saying is if y'all gonna push justice for victims, because that's what he's been doing over there, Jay Reed was a victim over there. Because he's a PDF, he's not a victim. So this is what I'm saying, right? Let's use it the real way. If there's a PDF in a grocery store right now, right? And a regular ass person walked up to him as this PDF is shopping, and that person say, man, I found you in my community as a PDF, and slap the shit out of him. And the PDF calls the police. You think the police gonna say, well, you're a PDF, so we're not filing charges on him? That's not how that fucking shit worked, bro. So let's be real. Jay Reed was a victim as well. Because of, oh, another thing, just to let y'all know, Hoodlum said it first. Hoodlum said it first. Only one of the victims is pressing charges. The other one is not cooperating. Y'all better figure out who that is. Y'all heard it here first. Only one of them is going through with the case. The other one is not cooperating. Breaking news. You heard it here with IBM Hoodlum. It says, don't they have the robbery on tape? I'm not going to be mad about that. Hey, no, I'm not saying that. Marciano's case is more serious. That's why Wack never mentions Marciano. He is trying to make people forget about him. SBGB keeps his name out of there and he's not forgotten. Nobody, I don't think SBGB is the reason why people are not forgetting about Marciano. Come on, let's be real. Nobody is forgetting. You got to understand, No Jumper alone is the reason why nobody's forgetting about this. It's not because of fucking what's the name. Remember, SBGB TV only knows about it because of No Jumper. Because the No Jumper incident, the infamous No Jumper brawl, okay? So come on now. Who pressing charges? I can't release that information, but just know only one of them is, okay? So yeah, while y'all over there doing what y'all do, only one of them is going through with charges. One of them is not cooperating at all. All right, boom. Back to the paperwork. All right, it says victim one started to ignore defendant's calls demanding extortion payments. Defendant sent multiple armed robbers to victim one's dispensary to rob him and then demanded $10,000 from victim one to prevent future robberies. In multiple intercepted calls, the defendant and his co-conspirators discussed even more robberies they were committing. Robinson also, also frequently told victim 1 about defendant's violence, including that the defendant was the only OG still actively committing murders. Good Lord Jesus. This shit is interesting. Remember, once again, for everybody that's in here now, this is my first time reading this. I have not read it yet, so we're reading it together, okay? Head on through, he said that. No jumper, definitely don't. We know it's J. Reed, clout chasing ass. Hey, I'm not going to say no names. I know exactly who it is. Dead homies, I know exactly who it is, but I'm not going to say no names. Just know only one is going through, the other one is not. This is where you mess up. You want angle so bad that you're willing to say we should be supporting people. That's not what I'm not saying support the PDF. I'm saying support the victim. If y'all whole narrative over there is we support the victims, Jay Reed is a victim. Bro, what are you talking about? You're not making sense. Y'all threw the PDF shit in there. Okay? I'm saying, hey, when that came along, because y'all mentioned it in the chat, y'all seem to wash y'all hands over there in that channel with him. He's a victim regardless, bro. He's a victim in that situation. Think about it. That's just how it works, bro. I'm not saying support them. I'm just saying if y'all support the victims, then y'all should be supporting both victims, right or wrong, right? You said you finally caught my live, Thiz. Hey, thank you. Remember, if you guys are new to the channel, make sure you like the channel. I was going to do a giveaway today, man. I want to give away already to the people who've been here supporting my channel. I have not figured out a legit way to do a giveaway. There's a system I used to use years ago, but I can't figure out how to get it to work with YouTube. So if we can find another way to do, I want to give away $20, Cash App, Zelle, whatever, Apple Pay. If I can figure out a legit way to give back to y'all, even the haters in the chat, I don't give a fuck. You know what I mean? If y'all part of the giveaway, man, I just like to give back to people. What you guys got to understand is whether you're in here hating or not, you're actually helping me. So I will still give back to you, bro. That's hoodlum. Over time, everybody that's in here going against me, when you get to really see who I am, you're going to be like, okay, I fuck with him. Rather, he don't fuck with the person we support, but he a good dude. You'll see. I said the PDF shit is being beating are two separate incidents. Right. I mean, regardless, he's a victim. Because of your past, that don't mean somebody could just come murder you because, you know, you did something years ago that you wasn't supposed to do. Okay. Reading the victim because he was trying to set up Travis Ford for the beating. I don't know. I'm not going to put that jacket on him. Y'all, if that's y'all theory, let it be. Shout out Honey for being wrong. But yeah, if y'all could come up in the chat with a good way for me to do a giveaway, man. I had this like legit thing I used to integrate in my stream where you type a command in the chat and you can put your name on the giveaway wheel and it'll spin and land somebody's name. I have not figured out how to do it with YouTube yet. Remember, I'm new to YouTube. I haven't figured out how to put it in. But if y'all can come up with a way to legit do it before we end the stream, I think I got like an online Google one. We'll get it together for y'all. So I'm not hating. This is internet, nothing personal. Nah, I understand that. I'm just saying, I'm not saying defend the PDF shit. I'm saying if his whole agenda is defending the victims, Jay Reed, no matter what he did in the past, is a victim in that situation. Okay. Okay, so this is the person that I timed out. He's doing the same shit. So this is the reason why we timed him out the first time. So I told him if you come in here, do it again, then I'm going to have to ban him from the chat. Okay. So how do I even ban people? Oh, no, I don't want to add him as a moderator. Hell no. Hide on other. Hey, Hodge, are you able to just ban him? Because I already timed him out for doing that. So, hide user in channel, put user in timeout. Oh, we'll just hide user in here. Put user in timeout. Yeah, we're going to do all of that because he's still doing the same shit. I told him if he come back and do it, I'm going to get him out of here. So, it is what it is. All right, back to the paperwork. Okay. This boy, Big U, man, this shit is crazy. And I don't like to, I'm gonna give you, I don't like to ban people. I don't like to time people out. I like y'all to get off in the chat. But if you're gonna spam the same shit over and over, then I'm gonna have to get you removed. If you talk your shit in the chat, talk your shit. Y'all see how I am. I'm gonna argue back with y'all. I'm gonna let y'all get y'all point across. I'm gonna get my point across. I'm not the type that's like, well, you're spinning a narrative in here. Let me ban you. Like, I don't get down like that. Get off. Talk your shit. Bottom line, they was in the wrong by beating Marciano like that. I don't know, the city, Burbank. You know, think about. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, let's get back to the paperwork though. All right, welcome on. Where are we at? Committed. Robinson also frequently told victim 1 about the defendant's violence, including the defendant was only OG, still actively committing murders. In addition to the constant extortion of victim 1, Dale, The defendant extorted victim 2 for $30,000 for a party thrown in defendant's honor in December 2021. Who the fuck was that? Victim 2 was who? I forgot who that was. This is the paperwork from the DA presented to the judge for Big U's bond hearing today. This is the paperwork stating why they shouldn't give him bond. This is what the DA presented to the judge, which his court date was a couple hours ago, so it's probably over and done with. If I can get any info before in this live to let y'all know what happened, I'll let y'all know. It says, why you time out True Speaker? I didn't time out True Speaker. The only person I timed out was my boys. So if he got timed out, it was probably my mod that did that. All right, so for victim 2 for $30,000 for a party thrown in defendant's honor in December 2021. Trying to figure out who that was. If I'm not mistaken, that was somebody famous. When the victims requested to pay only $20,000, the defendant responded with force, threatening, "I'll tear that bitch up. I won't be a club there. It won't be a club there no more." And then sending Robinson, another co-defendant, Mark Martin, and members of the Rolling 60s to confront victim 2 at his business and extort $30,000 from him. This shit is crazy. Victim 2 was DC, the night owner. Okay, got you this. All right, it says, while substantive extortion counts are currently limited to just some of those extortions of victim 1 and victim 2, they are not defendants only extortions. For example, on October 19, 2021, defendant told victim 1 that the defendant was taking over the extortion of another business owner. Then on November 7, 2022, on an intercepted call, a wiretap, after yet another extortion victim stated that the defendant had not fully paid the extortion victim for work on defendant's vehicle, defendant directed Martin to call the extortion victim right now and stated that he would go out there and kill that nigga. Whoa, this shit is crazy. On February 14, 2023, on another intercepted call, Robinson told defendant that Robinson told Jew Boy that he owed the Big U Enterprise money, that they would allow a payment plan, but if he did not pay, they were going to shut this motherfucker down. This shit is crazy. All right, to the chat, it says, but as far as Jay Reed goes on, I'm stating why some people are not supporting him regardless of his victim. Right, and that's absolutely right. A lot of people turn their back on Jay Reed, but what I'm trying to point out, Tone, is I seen the same thing happen over there with SBGB. He was heavily supporting Jay Reed until he heard about that. But remember, he was supporting Jay Reed as a victim, not a PDF, bro. Like I said, PDF or not, he's still a victim. So if you're supporting the victim, you're still supposed to support Jay Reed. I don't think it should be supported, but also understand that regardless of the PDF shit, he's still a victim. Exactly. And what I'm saying is exactly what I'm saying. If his whole thing is I'm heavily for the victims, that shit should have been out the window. He still should have been over there pushing for Jay Reed as well, which he kind of lightweight turned his back on him. Go outside and get some fresh air. It's a nice day outside. Wu-Tang did that already. Being a victim, objective, if something was done to you, the victim, something right. All right, back to the paperwork. February 2023, another intercepted call. Robinson told the defendant that Robinson told Jew Boy that he owed the Big U Enterprise money, that they would allow a payment plan, but if he did not pay, they were going to shut that motherfucker down. All right, boom. What page is this? 6. Power to direct violence. Making him power to direct violence. That is pretty much saying he's the shot caller. If you guys don't know what that is, it's the person that controls everything. Whenever you go to prison, and I hope you don't take the way I just said it over y'all head. If you ever go to prison and you are part of a gang, whatever yards you hit, there's going to be somebody part of your gang there that's going to be the shot caller, meaning he tells his people what to do. Okay, that's how it works. So pretty much Big U is a shot caller. Okay. Making him that much more dangerous. Exactly. He had the power to control everybody and send people to do stuff. Defendants hold power over others threatening and committing violence. For example, on November 23rd, 2022, on an intercepted call, defendant said that he can pay 3 people $50 each to beat someone up. Damn, $50. Big U, you cheap, nigga. Niggas is going to put in. So niggas was doing RICO shit for $50. Niggas was putting themselves in RICO situations for 50 punk ass dollars, bro. Ain't no fucking way. $50 each to beat someone up and describe paying people to mess up a store that was refusing to provide a defendant discount. On April 17, 2023, on another intercepted call, defendant directed an individual to deliver a message to another marijuana dispensary owner that defendant said fuck him and that he fucked with the wrong guy. This shit is interesting, bro. I need more than 50. Right, Hosh. If you put me in these type of situations to where I can eventually get caught up and be in a RICO, $50 ain't gonna cut it. Okay, like ain't no way somebody was gonna be able to call me and say, man, I give you $50 to go do this. I need $50 just to take somebody to goddamn Walmart up the street, bro. If you need me to give you a ride to Walmart, I need 50. I got a big boy outside. That motherfucker sucks up gas like a motherfucker. I need 50 just for gas money. So you want me to go hurt somebody for $50? That shit ain't gonna work. With the amount of pool Big U had, $50 was him looking out. In reality, he could have had people doing shit for, hey, you know what? I like this, man. Shout out this. You were absolutely right, because that kind of leans into what I was saying about the shot caller shit. When you're a shot caller, you don't pay nobody to do nothing. It's you better do what I tell you to do or else. That's how that shit works. You see what I'm saying? But if Marciano not pressing charges, that shit about to get real interesting. Hey, y'all will find out, Tone. Like I just told y'all, facts, standing on it. 100% facts. One person's cooperating, one person is not. All I'm going to say. Y'all go about that with SBGB when it all comes to the table. All right, back to the paperwork. Despite a prior 23-year sentence for armed robbery, defendant stayed armed. So here it is. This man said, look, I'm going to get out of prison and I'm going to still tote straps, which is not new. As a gang member, it don't matter if you a felon or not. You going to take those chances of being caught with a burner and going back to prison, or get caught lacking and lose your life. Okay, so let's make that clear. Since at least July 20th, I'm gonna keep it real. I'm a 3-time felon. Yes, 3-time felon. Bang the fuck out, putting in work, all of that. I'm a 3-time felon, been to prison twice, all that. Back when I was 17, 18, 19, hitting the yard, getting out, the first thing I would go to when I got out was a burner, because I had enemies. Just because I'm a felon don't stop a motherfucker from snatching my life away from me. So yeah, as a gang member, you're still going to carry a firearm, which is normal. But what does the law say? As a felon, you can't possess a firearm, so you're saying fuck the law. So this is what they're trying to state to the judge. He did 23 years. He should know better, and he got out and decided to say fuck y'all. That's what this is pretty much about to say. It says, do I want to serve 5 for the iron or life when they catch me slipping? Exactly. You get your life taken or do the 5. That's how it's looked at. All right. So since at least July 20th, 1992, defendant has been prohibited from even possessing a firearm. Just hit it on the money, because you're a felon. Firearms based on his felony convictions for second-degree robbery with a firearm, conspiracy, and drug trafficking, for which he received a 23-year prison sentence. Upon his release from prison, he nevertheless continued to use firearms himself, like when he murdered Rayshawn Williams. Bro, they are literally saying this dude murdered this dude. They are not even giving him a chance. In a way, it's biased. I would think I would use that to my advantage. I don't know if his attorney used that. And I'm going to keep it real. Your Honor, they're already pinning this on my defendant, and my defendant has yet to be found guilty of this. Like, that definitely can work in his favor, because they're basically saying he did this. Like, that's crazy. It's like firearms itself, like when he murdered Rayshawn Williams and directed others to use firearms, like when they robbed Victim 1 dispensary, Dale. Throughout this investigation, recordings corroborated that the defendant consistently was armed. On October 22nd, 2022, Robinson told Victim 1 that the defendant and Robinson would be attending the after party at the club that Victim 1 was promoting, and that the pat down is out because the defendant would be in attendance. So they're basically saying in this, when Big U went to this club, Dale Club, they told him he can't pat nobody down because Big U gonna come up in that motherfucker burner down. Okay, so that's pretty much what that says. Okay. He said, I get what the DA is trying to do, but it's like, look at his circumstances. Right. This right here, no matter what they can use on Big U's end, what they already put in here, the man ain't getting no motherfucking bail. We know. Who's Victim 1? Victim 1 is Dale Wu-Tang. Okay. Dale is the owner of the dispensary. All right. So The pat down is out because defendant would be in attendance, implying that the defendant was armed. On an intercepted call, boy, they was wiretapped every fucking where. Says Big U's court docs. Hobbs Act has got them at least 10 years, bro. Nah, the Hobbs Act in California is at least 20 years. Okay? If I'm not mistaken, I might be wrong. I heard that the Hobbs Act in California was 20 years. But I might be wrong. You might be right. We'll try to look into that at a later time. All right, it says, pat down is out. Defendant would be in attendance, implying the defendant was armed. On an intercepted call a month later, defendant told an incarcerated individual that anyone coming at him better come correct because defendant always has 2 blowers. Bro, they actually put, this is how you know there was a wiretap, because ain't no motherfucking DA talking like this, bro. He had 2 blowers, okay? Definitely was listening to niggas' phone calls. Etc. firearms on him. On January 3rd, 2023, on an intercepted call, another fucking wiretapped call, defendant described to an incarcerated individual. So let me stop right there. Everybody that has been in here, motherfucking sinuses is killing me. I'm getting a little sick. Don't mind me. Anybody that's been here so far since I've been reading this paperwork has heard they had wiretapped calls pretty much every fucking day. Almost, okay? Do y'all notice one individual was never caught on these wiretaps to put him in a RICO? Anybody in the chat want to name that person's name in the chat? How do you have all these wiretapped calls and not one person was even mentioned on a phone call or even heard on a phone call? Thank you, Thiz. Thank you, Thiz. That's why this case is going to be beatable. I know Luce got some other shit he has to battle after, but the Fed case is the more important one. This is very beatable, okay? Now, boom. January 3rd, 2023, on an intercepted call, defendant described to an incarcerated individual tooling up with firearms to travel to a Crips neighborhood because we are the most arrogant, bougie, self-righteous motherfuckers on the planet Earth. On April 1st, 2023, on another intercepted call, y'all see how many fucking wiretaps they was? Oh, victim is Molly Mall. You right. You are right. Victim 1 is Molly Mall, right? I mean, victim 2 is Molly Mall. It says Wack brung up or spoke on it. Damn, that's crazy. I think you are right. But wiretaps everywhere. Wiretaps every fucking where, okay? Boom, where are we at? On April 1st, 2023, on another intercepted call, the defendant asked someone to grab defendant's blower, which he left on the ground in a blue sweatshirt in front of a tire. Defendant is not only a physical danger, but a financial danger too. Okay, so let's read this part. I said something about it earlier. Let's see if I was correct. Yeah, this said DC is the nightclub owner. So I don't know. I'm not sure who is who. I want to know who is CW1. CW1 is. I don't know. We have yet to find out, right? All right. It says defendant's crime against victims are not confined only to violence. He spent decades creating a facade of a reformed gang member who seeks to build rather than destroy his community. So disguised defendant used the persona primarily to take from the very community he claims to help. Hundreds of thousands of dollars have flowed from charitable donors and government programs to defendant's development options bank account. Almost immediately, he on off his much of the money into his personal bank account. Defendant got richer and rich off his fraud, like his extortions and robberies, owning multiple homes, driving a Mercedes, taking lavish trips, and shopping for luxuries like a $30,000 necklace. It says the money taken from donors and taxpayers' pockets will never find their intended benefactors. The at-risk youth and children of Crenshaw, the damage cannot be undone. It says, but the defendant's success in deceiving politicians, celebrities, and community activists, as well as the public at large, further militates against his release back into the community as he attempts to fund an expensive defense. So they're trying to say, hey, this man will get out, lie to these people again to get money, and use the money to get a defense to fight his case. Okay, DC is victim 2. Victim 2 is the nightclub owner. Victim 1 was the person he had the drug charges. Yeah, victim 1 I know for sure is Dale. Dale is the dispensary owner. I know that for sure. Okay, Dale is the victim 1. But I don't know who victim 2 is. I couldn't tell you that. I know victim 2 has some money because they got $30K out of him. Okay. But Uh, yeah, I know Dale hood name is Monster. That's all I know. Dale's victim one. Okay. Boom. Indeed, the FBI has received information that the defendant is demanding 100,000 to 200,000 from celebrities to fund his legal defense. They are trying to say they have information that from behind bars, he is demanding this type of money from celebrities to help his case. It says in that case, that does not work. He also concocted an elaborate plan over jail costs to use politically connected associates, including identified victims in the case, whom has already footnote couldn't on next page. I'll read that. The defendant is fluent in obstruction. All of it may be founded on crimes, but defendant will build a charmed life following his 23-year sentence for armed robbery. He does not want to give it up and uses obstruction frequently to avoid that. The destruction of surveillance footage, use of encrypted applications like FaceTime. Okay, so boom. I just spoke on this the other day. Even my homies, they will not talk to you over a phone call unless it's FaceTime or FaceTime audio. It's because they can't wiretap it. Okay. So they're saying, hey, if he does get bail and he tries to do all of this shit they're claiming he's doing, he's going to do it through FaceTime because they can't track FaceTime. You can't wiretap FaceTime. Okay. So that's the reason why a lot of people, when they're talking certain businesses, you know what they got going on, they'll talk over FaceTime or FaceTime audio. Okay. So this right here, the DA and the state and whoever, you know, they know about our tricks. Okay. Because this is how you communicate. When you communicate about some shit you don't want nobody to hear about. Demands to meet in person to avoid law enforcement intercepting communications, use of multiple phones and cars, orders not to speak to law enforcement, and chastising and anyone perceived or suspect cooperators are detailed in the charging instruments. A few are also highlighted here. Even when the criminal charges were not against defendant personally, defendants instructed a victim's relative that the victim was to go to the lineup, tell him to pick the wrong person to insulate defendant associate from the charges. That's crazy right there. That's fucking crazy. As a club owner, Monster was a club promoter. I know Monster is Dale. If I'm not mistaken, Monster is Dale. Okay. Think about what you're saying. We have a drones that can fly 300 or 400 miles underwater. They can tap FaceTime this guy. No, it's just Shay. All right. I understand we have drones, but it's a reason why they're putting this in here. They know they can't tap FaceTime. Okay. Have they figured out how to do it? No. Maybe they will. But no, Shay, they can't tap FaceTime and FaceTime audio. And you take a wild guess why they can't do that. Okay. Maybe you want to do your research, say. Okay. Back to this. Okay. Way to go on the lineup. Tell him to pick the wrong person to insulate defendant's associate from the charges. A master manipulator, defendant told another associate that to influence the media for his lawsuit against law enforcement. He should show both positive and negative parts of his life. Wear glasses and say that he was working with his developed options, even though he was not. On multiple intercepted calls, another fucking wiretap. Okay. Defendant talked about beating up or at least breaking a witness's jaw. And while defendant may claim other reasons for feuding with that witness, this court should protect him after fleeing with his phones in hours before his scheduled arrest in the case in attempt to intimidate and dissuade anyone from cooperating with law enforcement or otherwise reporting information about defendant. Defendant posted publicly on Instagram, naming his co-defendants and known opponents, instructing defrauded to advocate for the presidents who he is disrespectfully calls the orange man behind his back. Intervention in his case. This shit is fucking hilarious, okay? This shit is crazy. It says the witness sound like Wack. Probably, okay? At this point, witness is Wack, okay? It pretty much fits him. It says, there go Wack. It says, witness, if you remember the indictment, Big U said he gonna break Wack's jaw. He is a witness. Right, so we know who Wack is now in the paperwork. I wonder if that was 600 or Wack jaw. He was talking about one of them, because if y'all remember, Big U made those videos while he was driving around with his family before he turned himself in, and it kind of hurt him because they actually put that in the paperwork to use against him. Okay, so it kind of hurt him in the bail hearing. All right. So damn, page 9. It says the public the public not to associate with them, and claiming that if they did not, they were not black. An attempt to poison the jury pool. Hold on, let me make sure I didn't miss nothing. Okay, yeah. An attempt to poison the jury pool, defendant posted on Instagram claiming racial profiling, ignoring them almost every single one of the defendant's victims, from Rayshawn Williams to many of his extortion, robbery, and fraud victims, and and the at-risk youth he was supposed to help are black, and blaming his co-defendants and opponents for charges filed against him in the federal criminal complaint. Legal standard: you can't threaten a witness on public platforms, right? Offendant must be detained pending trial where no condition or a combination of conditions will reasonably assure the appearance of the person as required and safety of any person to the community. So they said the same thing about Luce. They're basically saying, hey, you can, Selena, what it do? You can pretty much put this motherfucker on 10 ankle monitors and he's still going to be a threat to society. There's nothing we can put in place for this dude that we can reassure that he won't go out and do the stuff we're saying he was doing or is going to do still. Okay. The only way that we can prevent that from happening is to keep him locked up. Okay. Legal standard: a defendant must be detained pending trial where no I already read this. Other person in the community, the community of risk. All right, right here. It says detention is thus appropriate. Detention is thus appropriate for a defendant. They want to keep him in jail who is either a danger to the community or risk of non-appearance. Basically saying he might not even show up to court. Flight risk. All right, so boom. I don't know what the fuck this is right here. It says the Bail Reform Act mandates an individualized evaluation guided by the factors articulated. United States versus Diaz Hernandez. I don't even know who that is. Those factors: the nature of the seriousness of the offense charged, and including whether the offense is a crime of violence, the weight of the evidence against the defendant's character, physical and mental condition, family, community ties, past conduct history relating to drug, alcohol abuse, and criminal history, and the nature of serious and danger to any person to the community that will be posed by the defendant's release. Okay. Boom. The United States versus Windsor. Who the hell is this the community? If I'm not mistaken, didn't he live in the Windsor Hills community? Or is this a person? I don't know. If I'm not mistaken, I know he stayed in like Windsor Hills community. Consideration of non-necessary factors. Let's see what this is. Diaz Hernandez. Defendant should remain detained because he is a risk of non-appearance and a danger to the community. Who is this? Is this still talking about Big U? The document. Yeah, I don't think this is Big U. I don't know who this is, right? Let me see. Yeah, these are other people. Yeah, I don't think this is anything that would Big U. It says 600. Crip Mac signed the paperwork. He still uses his Cash App, IG page to commit his own page. Once flat. Yo, before we end this live, I'm gonna give y'all a little hint. All right, so I know y'all heard me say that I'm gonna run a documentary on 600. Well, after some rethinking, my wife doesn't want me to do it the way I was gonna do it, like a documentary, because there's things that I found out about 600 that he may not know about that he can try to use for defamation. Okay, but I have it all in paperwork and I had all the facts. So when I'm about to end this live, I'm gonna say something and y'all go put it together because I got the proof of it. We're gonna get to that when I'm about to end the live. But anybody in the chat, have y'all figured out a legitimate way for me to do this fucking giveaway? Because if not, then I'll have to figure out a way on my next live. Okay. All right. So he would have been protected witness anyways because he's fed Jamal. All right. So I don't know this. I don't think this is Big U right here. All right. So let's see if there's any more weight of evidence. Evidence defendant committee. I think this is the other people that went to court. I don't think this is Big U right here. Let's see. Go down history. It says history of custody of defendant. Says this court should not fall victim to any argument about defendant's lack of conviction. CC's released state custody in the early 2000s. Absent conviction not. Who is this? This is not Big U, right? It says you need to work on getting some trustworthy mods. What do you mean, Zero? I have a trustworthy mod. I don't think this is anything with Big U. Let's go down. Judge correction explanation. Defendants Hobbs acts robbery crimes were dangerous to community. Yeah, I think this is everybody else, right? All right, so let's go down and see if we see anything else about Big U. All right, boom. What page is this? 18. Inclusion. All right. Of the call, defendant told a certain individual that defendant was going to purchase 6 minutes. All right, yeah, so this is not Big U. This is all the other people. All right, so that's pretty much on Big U, man. Everything else is about other people. It says, motherfucker, they just gonna say what they want. I mean, y'all gotta understand this. We will allow y'all to say whatever y'all want. I pretty much don't care. Like I said, I like people to get off in the chat. Say what you got to say. You know, I'm the type of person that will let you, voice your opinion, man. And of course, I will challenge anything that I feel is not right. That's what I'll do. You know what I mean? But if you're just being flat out disrespectful, then it's understandable. You know what I mean? Hey, what was the end of Sharice Mill Live with Luce Cannon all about, Lil Bro? When? Today? Oh, you know what? Let's go look at that. Let's go look at that. I know she's not going to strike me, so let's go look at that. Matter of fact, let's react to that. I forgot all about that, okay? Yeah, because all the Big U stuff is over with. So I can tell you right now, there's not a judge on planet motherfucking Earth that is going to give him bail, okay? So let's listen to this right here. I know this is something I promote on Instagram. It says, Luce Cannon gets nasty with the wife Sharice Mills and has a message or his sweeties. I have yet to listen to this. I was supposed to run content on this on Instagram, but I decided to go live and do the Big U paperwork. So I have yet to got a chance to listen to this. Stand on it. Appreciate you, my guy. Shout out, Stand on it. Remember, like, share, and subscribe to the channel. I am new to YouTube. I heard that the likes are important, and anybody that I fuck with heavy that are YouTubers are well, I highly recommend that you subscribe to them as well. My guy Stand on the Media is one of those great content creators on YouTube, man. Shout out my guy Stand on the Media. Please, if you can, if you support me, please support the people that I stamp, man. And Stand on the Media is a great guy. Make sure you guys click on his name, man, and drop him a subscription, man. Let's go. All right, so let's listen to this video. If my sinuses will stop fucking me up right now. I've been getting sick for like the last 4 days, so. All right, so let's listen to it, and let's see what they talking about.
On this YouTube channel, including videos, images, and audio, are reserved solely to the owners Sharice Mills and Luce Cannon. Please refrain from continuing to post any unauthorized use of our content from here on out. Please reach out to cutthecontent@gmail.com for authorization rights to any of our posted contents moving forward.
Recorded and subject to monitoring at any time. To hear the cost of this call, press 4 now. You may begin speaking now.
Wife, what's up?
Hey, honey.
What got going?
Not much. Just getting ready to go run some errands. Just got the baby dressed. He just woke up.
Yeah.
What you doing?
Go do?
I'm gonna go to Home Goods. I'm gonna go, see what else they got for the season since Easter's over. I love to decorate the house.
Mother's Day next.
Mother's Day is next. It's my first Mother's Day. I'm excited, but I wish you were here so you can, wine and dine me.
How you know I'm not gonna be home?
Oh.
You know what I'm saying?
Ooh, I like that. I like that. I want you here, so you better.
Of course. Everything else is good, though?
Likewise.
Yeah,
Run
everything
IBM
is
numbers up,
good.
y'all.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
I
appreciate
had
you
some
staying on it.
breakfast. I made some eggs and tortilla with some cheese, you know. Trying to stay away from the meat, so I'm like, you know.
And let me pause this real quick. Shout out to my wife, man. All the thumbnails y'all see on that's on Canon stuff, that's either me and my wife that make those thumbnails, okay? Shout out to my wife, man, because she do put in work, man. I used to get nasty messages on Instagram when Luce got first locked up. Why you always talking to Sharice? Da-da-da-da-da. What y'all dealing with each other? What y'all effing each other? What people don't know is I'm married, first of all, and Sharice and my wife are in business together. I went to sleep hella early yesterday because I was dead tired because I get no sleep in my house. I got so many kids. So I decided to clean my house and go to sleep real early. I went to sleep around maybe 5 or 6, and I didn't wake up till this morning at 5 in the morning. And when I came out here, when I woke up, I noticed my wife wasn't in the bed, and I come out here, my wife had been up all night, didn't get no sleep, and was out here setting up shit with Sharice, man. Sharice Mills, which is Luce Cannon wife, got some shit they about to drop soon, like a reality show. Man, make sure y'all tap in, man. They got some good shit in the works. I'm not gonna expose that yet, but trust me, y'all gonna like what they about to put on the table. But yeah, this is my wife work, man. She does thumbnails, all type of shit, bro. So if y'all YouTubers out there need any work done, I'll let y'all tap in on my wife, and then y'all can go about the business from there. All right, so let's go. Let's listen.
Every other meal I'll not have meat.
I definitely have some meat when I get home.
Wow. I know y'all heard that. He said you definitely gonna have some meat when I get home. Boy, they look nasty little motherfuckers on the phone, huh? I know the feds listen to every phone call. I know the feds sitting back like, boy, this shit is crazy.
I'll make you some meat, but the only meat I'm gonna have is your meat, okay?
Yeah, I know, definitely.
Y'all hear this shit?
But everything else is cool.
Yeah, baby. What did you eat today?
I didn't eat nothing today. Right now, I was fasting.
Oh, really?
I was fasting for God.
Oh, that's good.
I appreciate you, Zero.
So I got a good 45 minutes for you.
Oh, you got 45 minutes.
All
right,
oh my God. I'm thinking 45 minutes on the call. You talking about
Let me pause it real quick, dude. I'm glad you said that. And I want to bring something to a lot of people's attention, right? A lot of people have been pointing the finger at Sharice. Why is she doing this? Why is she doing that? I'm letting you know right now that I be on phone calls with these two while Luce is locked up, and she's only doing what Luce is asking her to do. Okay? A lot of the shit y'all seen her doing, she was heavily against it, but Luce like, nah, do it. Okay? So don't think it's just Sharice doing it. You know, Democrats know some criminal background because I have no idea about El Salvador. So it has always sound like she moaned him though. Zero, really? All right, let's go back to the audio.
listen.
Pringles, bro.
Okay, let me go stretch. You're so silly. Your ass, you'll be over in 2 minutes talking about 45 minutes. You know this pum pum good.
Oh yeah, they look freaky. Y'all hear them?
Make sure you get an ice pack.
Yeah, okay. all that talking. We gonna see. Oh, I ain't happen to me in so long. You'll be like, oh.
Wow, that is funny as fuck, bro. Did she just put his business out there?
All medicine, get ready to get your throat nice.
Oh my gosh. Listen, you too funny. You know this throat is straight. No, I ain't gonna be the one singing. You'll see who's gonna be singing.
You.
I'm gonna teach you some opera notes in a minute.
Bro, this shit is crazy. I know y'all listen. Y'all listening to this shit?
No.
This shit is freaky, bro.
It's gonna feel like a water balloon popped on you, baby.
Yeah, okay. I see you had a lot of time to think. You got a lot of time to think of how you gonna do it, huh?
Yeah, shit. You know,
they realize some freaky frogs, right?
And
keep you in check.
Yeah, okay. Mm-hmm.
Hey, everything else is cool.
Yeah,
Any
baby.
bozos on the internet talking?
I honestly haven't paid any.
I already said, is any bozos on the internet talking? So let's listen to what he about to say. I haven't heard this yet, so.
Attention. I have not really even been on the internet today. I got to post some content for some collab, companies, but yeah, I got this baby bottle that just sent money for Cali to promote them, so that's gonna be my next post, and then that's it really.
All right, then.
Definitely.
They went some freaky shit to some
Mm-hmm.
internet shit.
Charisma played it this weekend. You know that?
Oh yeah, she did.
Yeah.
Did you get the video?
No, she didn't make a video. She just told me she'll spend it on Saturday. I was like, oh, thank you.
Again, no, have her keep spending it. It's gonna go viral.
Yeah, I'm gonna have her for sure.
Look at you, baby. Look at you. You over here still got it going for.
Well, of course. You know that. You know that. And your team too, they pushing it too. So every day they posting the music and stuff. So it's pretty good.
Definitely. I mean, not shit. It ain't my team. It's your team.
No, it's your team, but I'm definitely making sure they do what they gotta do.
Yeah, they say F me right now. if it ain't coming from Sharice, we ain't doing it. They like F Cannon.
Yeah.
I'll never F Cannon.
That's
I don't
not
even
true.
know why you would think like that.
So silly.
No, but it's our team. We literally built an awesome team.
I mean, there is no plate. I mean, it's content. You know what I mean? I'm gonna keep it real with you. Luce is an entertainer. He's only furthermore proving this is his lifestyle. I'm not who y'all think I am. I'm an entertainer. This is what I do. You gotta understand, right? When he had his bail hearing, all the shit people were saying, oh, they're gonna use the phone calls against him in his bail hearing. Not one time did they ever use a phone call against him in his bail hearing. Okay. At all. Okay. So it's actually content, and it's great content. Are y'all fucking listening? We're hearing about all type of freaky shit right now. Okay. Now we on some internet shit. So let's go.
You the captain.
He's not crying about the situation. Hey, and you know what, Zero? I pointed that out. Like somebody said to me like a couple lives ago, like why is he acting like, everything is all good? You don't want to, the worst thing you want to do when you get locked up is stress out. Because when you stress out, you become unhealthy, you become weak. And when I'm gonna tell you right now, when you are on and locked up, them niggas prey on the weak. If they see you weak, they're gonna take advantage of you. You want to walk around, have your head held high. You know what I mean? When you stress out and shit like that, man, it is not a good look. So that was one of the things I noticed immediately. Like, damn, Luce in there with his head held high. I think I had captioned that in one of my fucking titles, and somebody came in and was like, Luce head ain't held high. Y'all hear it yourself. The man in there, like, this is what it is. You know what I mean? And I love it because you want to be that way in there. You don't want to be in there stressed out, biting nails, not eating. People get the beating on you and shit like that because they see you weak, shit like that. That's what they do, bro.
Selling your shit.
Just waiting for you to come back and take over because, I want to focus on what I got to do right here with the baby and whatnot. Okay? I'm enjoying being a mother. This is, my life right now, and I love it.
But you are, I'm talking about like, shit, I can't replace you, shit.
I already like
you got to keep going.
You're so
you
silly.
doing better than me.
You're so silly. Cut it out.
No, I'm serious. No, I'm dead serious.
I'm waiting for the end because Steno said he said something at the end. Let me see what he's talking about.
Make sure people run it up and keep playing the song "Do Something."
Yeah, I got you, baby.
I'm gonna go share
I
that
got
right
you.
now.
Actually, Rick got a deal with Death Row Records coming, so I'm gonna give you the good news once I get everything signed. Because since we got that POA, I'm doing all these deals for you.
This call is from a federal prison.
Yeah, so I can't do it without you, so.
Man, go stream Do Something, man, on
tell Charisma,
all platforms by Luce Cannon, man.
thank
Y'all
her.
support the homie. Give him that stream.
Like that, and just make sure that all the DJs get it. But, you know, shit, you got it. I don't even need to say anything.
No, you don't. You know, this is what I do. When I was in my prime, I did it for myself, so I know what to do for you.
She got power of attorney. I mean, she's married to him.
I appreciate you.
That's why I was telling
too,
people,
baby.
like, they're legally married.
Okay, I'll talk to you later.
The laws on how it works, but they have him as the wife.
This is what you wanted? You having your people try to smear my name?
All right, so this video is an old video of him. This was not too long after the Pixie event when they bumped into Big Homie CC, because this is some of the Pixie merch.
But it's not working.
I know this. I don't.
No, Toodles.
I don't know what's going on with that.
Toodles is not
I'm
working
put it like this.
for you.
I'm gonna keep it real. I've had phone calls with Luce and Sharice. Okay, it's not him that's not trying to get the divorce. It's Gigi. Gigi is the one. Like I said, don't let Gigi fool y'all. Okay, Gigi is the one that's making it hard. She's the one that's not going through with everything. It's not Cannon. And people don't understand that. Like, I've seen screenshots. I've been on phone calls, bro. It's not Luce. She's the one that doesn't want to fully go through with everything, okay? And I'm not lying, bro. I'm not going to lie to y'all. If I was that type of nigga, I got a whole 2-hour phone call with Gigi in my phone, but I have not put it out there. I'm not going to do that. I don't have no issues with Gigi. I know this is their situation, so I don't involve myself in that. But from what I know, it's her. It's not him. It's her. You know, they both have their wrongdoings in the situation, but as far as the marriage shit and it being official for them to be done and over with, it's Gigi. It's not Luce, okay?
Everybody knows you cotton candy soft. Yogurt soft. A peeled banana. You is soft. Softer than oven mittens. You is a pillow top mattress.
I can see
what else can we say?
And how she knows she want to be married.
You softer than
right. It's called bitterness. She's dragging it for a reason. You bitter.
Listen, it's the obstacles that you want to take, Buttercup. Doodles, you have to be understanding that the mind frame and what I was telling, it had nothing to do with you. You made this happen. You supposed to be tough. No, you're not. You softer than the old school water bed.
So who is he talking about in this, if I'm not mistaken? Who was he talking about?
Listen.
Gotta remember.
You softer than
sign over his right to what, Super?
I don't know.
What, the baby? Why would he do that if he don't even know if it's a baby?
Socks.
She doesn't even want to get the DNA test done. See? So a lot
you
of stuff
softer than.
Because if that's what you're talking about.
Okay.
If she gets a DNA test done with the child and it's his, there's no way he's signing his rights over to his child. That's not going to happen. Think about it.
There's Sarah Lee Buns. You're softer than Marathon Burger Buns. Shout out to Black Sam.
Wow. Yeah, I've seen that video before, so. All right, man, that pretty much concludes my stream for the day, man. But nobody in the chat figured out a way for me to do that giveaway, man. So I'm gonna try to get it together by the next time I go live, so I can give a little money. It ain't a lot, but I like to give back. That's me. It says, bro, you just taking up for bro. I'm not. Are you not listening, bro? First of all, the child has yet to be proven to be his child. He's asked for a DNA test. She won't go through it. So first of all, in order for any parent, see, this is how y'all just don't know about anything, right? For any parent to sign his or her rights over to a child, do you know what you need to prove first? That you are the parent, Super. Are you not? Come on now. Think about it. You have to prove you are the parent first. Okay? That's how it works. You can't sign your rights over unless you're the legitimate parent of that child. So if that has yet to be proven, How the fuck can he even sign his rights over? Like, y'all be coming in here saying some unrealistic ass bullshit in the chat, bro. Like, come on, it ain't defending nobody. It's actual facts. I can't sign my rights over right now to a child that I don't even fucking know is mine. The only way is to get a DNA test done, put it in paperwork. Now you have the power to say, I want to sign my rights over. You can't do that if you're not. Let me break something down to y'all, right? You know what? I ain't even gonna say that because I might be giving her fucking the way to try to do some sneaky shit. I know some shit about kid custody, all the shit you're talking about right now. I got a blueprint to it, bro. And I'm not even gonna expose that because I don't want that motherfucker to be watching my stream and try to use something against the homie. But just know if the child has not been proven yours, you can't sign your rights. They don't even know if the fucking child is his. Okay, so let's make that clear. But anyways, before I get out of here, remember, I wanted to drop a hint to y'all on 600. And, you know, I was going to run that documentary on him, but my wife looked at the way I was going to do it and said, wait, we want to stay away from that. So we'll just run content on it. But I'm going to give y'all a little hint before I go. And I got the documents to prove it. And it's up to y'all to put 2 and 2 together. Before I say this, man, make sure you guys like, share, and subscribe to the channel if you have not already. My dude, Stand on the Media, is in the chat as well. He is a YouTuber. Please click on his name. Subscribe to the homie. Good dude right there. How many kids you have? You always say, I got so many kids. I got 7 kids, Shirley. I got 7 kids. I've been there. When it comes to rights, custody, child support, anything you can imagine when it comes to that type of shit, I've been there and done it. I have 7 kids. 4 of them are with me and 3 of them are in Vegas. My 3 in Vegas are all adults. Put it like this. I was one of the biggest hoes in Vegas, okay? There was a time where I had 15 girlfriends, dead homies. My first 3 kids are all the same age for a whole month, okay? I have a 19-year-old right now, a 19-year-old, and an 18-year-old. Around the time January come, they're all the same age, and they're all by different girls. So understand, I've been there and done it with this shit. I got 3 adults right now. I got a 12-year-old about to be 13, a 6-year-old, a 4-year-old, and a 3-year-old with me, okay? And I'm not lying, like, and we've already set them up for the future. Like, literally, like, we just purchased a fucking $2.6 million ranch, bro. 187 acres. Like, we do shit the right way this way. Trust me, I'm not gonna feed you no bad information in the chat. I'm just letting you know that a motherfucker can't sign his rights over without him being proven to be the father. He can't even make no decisions with that child right now because he has to be proven the father. See, this is what a lot of people don't understand. Whenever you have a child with somebody, right, does not immediately give you custody. See, I'm going to put y'all on game real quick. If you have a child with somebody and just because the child is with one parent and not the other, if y'all split, the parent that has the child with them don't even have custody yet. You have to put in for custody. You have to establish custody, okay? You can't even do that unless you're proven to be a parent. So whenever you go through a custody battle, they're going to assure that before any of that go through. We can't just give this man custody to his child and we don't even know it's his. That's how it works. So I'm going to give y'all some game. Any man out there, because I was victim to this, I'm going to give y'all some game real quick. If you got one of those baby mamas who are using your child against you as a pawn, if you are aware that she has not been to family courts to establish custody, you need to do it before her. And a lot of females need to understand this. If you have the child, you have not filed for custody, say you on good terms with your baby daddy and you dropping your child over at the baby daddy house every weekend, right? You have not established custody. And one weekend while the child is with the daddy, you and the daddy get into it, and then you go to get your child that you've been having for 2-3 years, and the daddy say you're not getting the child, take a wild guess. The mama can't do a motherfucking thing about it. You can call the FBI, you can call the U.S., you can call whoever you want to go get your child, and they're going to tell you the same exact thing every time. This is a family court matter. There's no custody. We can't take the child from him. Dead homies. If you think I'm lying, try it, and you'll see what I'm talking about. Do it. I promise you. Okay, so, but anyway, before we get out of here, like I said, I'm going to drop y'all a little hint about the next content I'm going to run on 600. So, as I said, before I drop my hint, like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Make sure y'all click on Stand on Media. Make sure y'all like, share, and subscribe his shit too. But this is the hint before I hit this end motherfucking broadcast button, all right? Put it to you like this. Y'all put it together. And I'm finna blow y'all mind right now, and I got the facts to prove it, okay? 600 mama, okay? Listen, are y'all listening? How can I say this? Let me say it the right way. Okay, this is what I say. Barbara, yes, Barbara Sagers. 600 mama. All right. It says a baby born in wedlock, automatically the mother has full custody, legal custody. The father has to go. Nope, that's not true, Josh. You're one of those. A parent can never have full legal custody without establishing it through family courts. Let me explain something to you, bro. I've seen the same shit what you're saying right now. Not in Atlanta, not in this, not in that. No, it's not. That's lies, bro. Every state is the same way. The mother does not have full legal custody if a child is born out of wedlock. You have to go establish full custody. There's no such thing as full. Let me explain something to y'all. See, that shit don't make sense, right? If you have a child out of wedlock, you don't have full custody. Do you know what full custody is? They don't even use the word full custody no more. It's called sole custody. Okay, go look it up. You can't get sole custody or full custody of a child unless you prove the other parent unfit. In some situations, if you put in for sole custody to prove the other parent unfit and they don't show up and they go into default, then it will grant it to you. But say what I'm saying is, say if my baby mama right now had primary legal custody of my child and I had my 50, which is joint custody, right? She has is joint primary with her. And I say, well, I want to get sole custody of my child from her. The only way I would even be able to get primary from her is to prove her unfit, bro. So there's no such thing as born with full custody, bro. Like, who the fuck y'all be? What y'all man? Listen, it be the people that don't even have kids, let alone that never even been through a custody battle or anything like that. There's no such thing as a child being born to the mom out of wedlock and she automatically has full legal custody. That's bullshit. And like I said, if you believe that shit, try it if you want to. You're going to be ignorant to the fact. There's no such thing as that, bro. All right. So, boom. What was we saying now? Yeah, Barbara. So I'll give you the hints. Cornell's daddy, Barbara's mommy. Okay. I'll give you the hint before I go. It says in the state of Texas, if unmarried, the mother receives sole custody of the child. Sorry, Steffi, I live in Texas. Just went through a custody battle with my baby mama and I got sole custody. We're not about to do that. See what I'm talking about? Do you want me to pull my Texas paperwork on the screen? Please stop. Anyways, before we get out of here, man, these people were crazy in the chat. The hint to the content on 600, I'm about to give it to you. 600 mama is Barbara Sagers, okay? 600 grandma maiden last name is Sagers, okay? 600 mama and 600 grandma is sisters. Y'all figure that out before I get back here next time. Y'all tell me what that is because I got the proof. 600 mama and 600 grandma are sisters. Huh? Figure that shit out. But I got it all written. I got it all in play. Say that again. 600 mama and 600 grandma are sisters. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy. Y'all better realize what's really fucking going on. We're going to run that content soon, though. Before I get out of here, like, share, and subscribe. Appreciate everybody tuning in, man. And we'll probably be back at it tomorrow running some more content, man. Let's go. IBM Hillum, I'm out.